Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Kenya with BK Trading Academy, and in today's training, we're going to talk about how to trade psychological levels. I'm going to walk you through step by step on understanding psychological levels and how to build a trade plan around them. If you are new here, I recommend that you subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our content. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Let's go ahead and get started. So psychological levels just represent critical price areas where it's really denoted by a round number. Okay, so when we are looking at our chart, you want to look at the price to the right where we count our pip movement. So you can see where my cursor is. This is the price to the right. And normally at round numbers of your chart, those are critical psychological levels where banks, hedge funds focus on. That is where large orders are placed in order to be able to move the market one way or another. I want to show you USD JPY as an example and how I've been trading this pair lately to help you understand my approach and why I traded it the way that I did. A lot of you who follow us, especially in the academy and also just in our different social platforms, you guys know I cover USD JPY a lot, especially on TradingView. And I told you guys I will continue shorting this pair, especially from the weekly standpoint, swing trading it until it breaks a psychological level or weekly area where I felt it would violate the weekly trend here. So let's point out a few things on this weekly. And the reason why I'm starting from the weekly time frame, I'm a short-term swing trader. So even if you are a scalper or an intraday trader, the weekly daily is an excellent time frame to analyze, especially because it helps you make wise decisions on the lower time frame. So one of the things that we see here is that previously on this weekly, we were in an uptrend where the market was making a series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay. Now that uptrend, I would say, was violated right here at this area at 130.81. So that's where that low was taken out, and notice how the price continues to push lower. Some people might say, you know what? I think that this area probably violated or ended the trend as we had a really big bearish move there. And I would say that probably could be true. When I'm looking at structure and I'm looking at if a level was violated or not, and I'm looking at where an area was taken out, should we consider that a trend line break? I'm usually looking at swings that stick out to my naked eye. So in my opinion, this is more of a stronger level to me in this uptrend where I would have said, you know what, this trend is officially broken. Here I would have said maybe a minor area because this was a structure of resistance, also support. And once we did break this area, we did retest and continue to push lower. But this can all be subjective. So I'm just letting you know how I look at things. Okay. Now, backing up a little bit, I told you that because of the weekly trend now being bearish, that I would continue to short until I had a reason to switch my bias. So notice here that we created a high. So here's our high. We then created a low. We created a lower high because this high is lower than the previous low. So this was an indication that, you know what, we just might be pushing lower, especially this bearish move happened because of fundamental policy changes to the Bank of Japan. So as we got a retest here, then the price continued to move lower, gave us a new low. Okay. We then created a new lower high. Then we created a low, and look here. So look where this was my previous low. Okay. And this was also, it retested as a weekly high. And this is also a significant level on the monthly as well. So if I'm looking at this area here, I told myself till this high is taken out at about 135. So 135, which is right about where this resistance and also support is located, I'm going to continue to short. Now let me show you what actually happened, and you can understand why I then switched my bias from one of a bearish bias to a bullish bias. But this 135 zone, this is a round level, psychological level that I know a lot of traders were watching. And let me just show you why. So let's go ahead and move forward and see exactly what happened. So notice there. So look how price retested the level. So we got a retest. We rejected right off of it. The price pushed down a bit. We actually had a nice fall from this level, and I actually did several ideas on YouTube TradingView telling you guys a short is coming. You can go see my last video on USD JPY, and I mentioned a drop. Okay. There was over about 100 and I think 20 to 40 pip drop from that level that I told you guys. So I had my eyes on this psychological level because I knew that this was an area that was very strong previous weekly resistance. It was also previous weekly support. And you can see if we keep scrolling out, this is also an area that was respected by that level as well. So now as we keep playing this, now look what happened. We got more rejection off of that area, okay? And then let's see what happened. Now, this happened today where we finally got a break of the level. So we got a break of the level, and now because we got a break, now it's time for us to switch our bias. So now instead of shorting, because it has broken through 135, after we get a break of structure, normally what happens is price will come back to retest the previous level of structure broken. So let me show you how we can approach this. So one of the things you have to realize is that when you are trading these psychological levels, eventually they're going to break, right? They're either going to hold or they're going to break. But you should know that at an even denoted number like 135 even, 136 even to the right of your chart, we look at these round numbers, and especially let's look at this high here. Notice this high here is almost at the 152 zone. So we round that out to say, okay, 152, that's a psychological level. So you will notice that when you look at these round numbers on your chart, they are areas where price moved very forcefully from. And those are the type of levels that you want to trade from. So now look how USD JPY has now broken through this psychological level, right? We are no longer possibly in a bearish trend because this previous high here has been taken out. This previous high here has been taken out. So what was previous support became resistance, and now we have broken through the level. So anytime we have a break of structure, what we would like to see happen is that we have a retest of the structure. So this previous resistance will now become our future support of that psychological level. And then we will be looking for some type of buy opportunity off of the weekly time frame, taking it to the next high. Okay, so that's what we want to see. I also like to add the 50-period moving average for confluence, means extra confirmation as to why we might want to get into that trade. And if I add that here, you'll see that that 50-period moving average on my chart is right at that area where the price was violated or where that high was taken out. You see that? So now when the price comes back to this support zone, future support zone, I'm going to be looking for some type of buy as long as price stays above this level, it stays above the 50-period moving average, and signals to me that, you know what, we might be transitioning into a bullish trend now on the weekly instead of a bearish trend. All right. So I'm going to be looking for a buy now at that 135 zone or so, somewhere within this area here, looking to take a buy to this next area. Now, why this next area? Look left. If we are seeing the price move upward, we're going to look left for clues as to where it might stop next. And notice this area here was our previous resistance back in December of 2022, November, and also October. But if we keep looking left, okay, it was also support right here. So it was support in August of 2022, and we had a continued movement to the upside. It was also very strong resistance, and look how much the market rejected to the downside. So a lot of confluence for this zone for us to be able to take profit confidently before the price reaches there. And then guess what, guys? We can buy to this level. So we can buy to about the 13760 zone, but this will be a great area for us to short as well. So this would be a short opportunity for us on the weekly. Now, as we move down to the lower time frame, you see this bullish move here. This is going to be probably an opposite trend on the lower time frame. So I know that time frames can be confusing sometimes, but sometimes you're going to see, for example, an uptrend on the weekly, a downtrend on the daily. Very few times you will see where both align the same. But regardless, if you understand what's happening on these higher time frames, like I'm going over right now, and more so not clouding your judgment with a bunch of indicators or things that are going to cause you to question the charts, you mainly just want to focus on the price action. But for the purpose of trading these psychological levels, you want to really focus on the round numbers on your chart. Okay. So now again, we saw that this level was taken out here. Now let's go see how this will look on the daily. daily. So if we move down to the daily time frame, now you can see that structure a little bit more clearly. You see that? So look how this was your previous resistance, and look how the price really hovered around it for a while and just fell to break through. We knew that break was possibly coming. Another hint that could have helped us to understand what was going on is paying attention to fundamentals. So there's several economic data reports that also impacted this price action, which told us that, you know what, we might have a sell-off, or we might have some type of long opportunity depending on economic data that strengthens the dollar. So those are things you can pay attention to as well. But now you can see naturally that if we do have a break of this level, then we'd like to see, since we have an uptrend, here's our uptrend on the daily. So here's our bullish trend, and we want that bullish trend to stay intact. As long as that bullish trend stays intact, we want to see some type of retest of our previous structure that was broken. And then we'd like to see a continuation to the upside to take profit at this next zone here. You see that? Pretty simple, right? Trading does not have to be so difficult. There are a lot of things that you need to master, especially risk management, but it's really not hard, guys. It's very simple. Okay, it just takes a lot of practice and years of commitment. Just kidding. Might take some of us years of commitment. It really is a process to become a successful trader, and I like to be totally honest in that. But guys, once you master it, I am just so in love with trading. I absolutely love it. It has allowed me to live the life that I have prayed and dreamed of. I'm just a born entrepreneur. So I like the fact that I don't have to ask anybody to do anything. It's just me really mastering the markets, and there's nothing, no person that can come between that. You know, I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, so anyway, back to the topic, because I sort of digressed there, but this is the whole point that I wanted to just make in terms of trading psychological levels, what it looks like, and how do you take advantage of it. So now look, notice that this area where the price is coming to, this turning point here is at the 138 zone. So about 138, okay? That's a round number, round psychological number. And look, as a profitable trader, right, as an experienced and profitable trader who's very confident in trade execution, I'm looking at this level to say, you know what, psychologically, this is where I have interest, because look how much the market moved from these areas in the past. I'm confident that if the price comes here, I can logically place my stop loss in a strategic area that makes sense for my account. I also believe that after this bullish impulse to the upside, we're definitely going to have some reaction from this level. And again, these are the type of levels that banks like to trade as well, and where they like to move the price from. So guys, that is an overview of how to trade psychological levels. Watch this video over again if you need to understand it and go a little bit slower, maybe, or just hear another repeat of it. And it's really simple. And then all you have to do is pay attention to when you're trading, look at these very forceful area or swings on your chart where the market is making these type of forceful moves. So look here. Just look at these areas on your chart, guys, and you will notice that they're all near round numbers on your chart. Okay, so that is an overview on trading psychological levels. I hope that you find this helpful. If you are a new or struggling trader, I want to encourage you to check out our academy. We have a special offer right now. It's valid